There's a click track. All right. Fuck me. All right, now we're going. Welcome to episode 1 of Jason and James Watch Movies. I am your host, Jason Fifi. This is, as I said, the first episode, and I'm here with James Meisler. Say hi, James.
Hey, Jason. How's it going? I'm glad to be here.
It's going really good. That was almost like ASMR in my head with your sultry voice that you have. I am like I said, dear listeners, I am Jason Fifi. I'm here with James Meisler. We are both comedians. We do the stand-up comedy, is a thing we do. We both know each other, but I'll kind of like tell you a little about myself. I've been doing comedy for a long time. I stand up in front of people and tell jokes. How long have you been doing comedy, James?
Just over a year, actually.
Very new. Okay, so I've seen you do comedy the whole time that you've done comedy.
Yeah, I've done a few open mics. I've done a few bringer shows, but I haven't branched out professionally yet.
Okay, so okay. Well, we need to talk about that after we're done here, and so I can at least get you out and doing comedy. Because I drive my car and go do comedy, and people give me money, and if I have a feature with me, I get a little more money, and I can give that to that feature. So you can branch to professional, if moderately, like if just like, hey, here's a little money for gas, like, you know. I did not know that. That's crazy. That's actually, I actually did not know that, that you had never been paid to do comedy before.
Oh, that's not entirely true, but yeah.
Well, you know, bringer shows is like you're getting paid to bring people, and then they pay you to do the comedy.
Yeah.
But you brought the money, in a way. Like you could have done it in your living room and made more money because the booker wouldn't have taken his cut.
Yeah.
Right. You brought more people than money you took. Right. On a bringer show?
Yeah. That sounds about right.
You brought more money than people. You brought more people than money you took. Yeah. Labor. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, in labor theory of value, you are a more valuable thing than Karl Barks. He said that if you bury a bone in the yard and leave it there, right? Then it is only worth the bone in the yard. But then if you contribute meaningful, useful value, like work, to that bone, like chasing a squirrel, right? Then it's more valuable than burying a bone in the yard.
Yeah. He also said that there is a good boy haunting Europe, and that good boy is communism.
Oh, fuck. It caught me off guard because there's a good boy, right? And then I was like, not knowing you were gonna go with a joke with a specter. That actually brings us to our first sponsor.
Flying Dutchman mattresses.
It's a ghost ship of a mattress.
It is. You pay $1,500 at the mattress store, and they'll deliver it for $700. And there's a 100-night guarantee. If you don't like it, they'll send it back. They'll pick it back up.
Dutchman?
Dutchman.
I don't have the copy in front of me, so it's $700.
Yeah, it's $700, and they deliver it to you. I've been sleeping on one for about 6 months now. So it's really nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Excellent. I need to come sleep on your mattress sometimes.
Yeah, use offer code JMovies, JAYMOVIES, and they'll hook you up.
Hell yeah. Well, so that's done. We don't have to worry about our sponsors anymore. That's great. And thanks again to Flying Dutchman for sponsoring our podcast. Even though this is the first episode of the podcast, I'm very excited for them to. I mean, that's a huge outreach on their part.
Yeah, that's unheard of. I've never heard of podcast. I don't know how we hooked that up. Maybe they must have seen your show or something.
It's possible. Our business manager, Steve, he's actually just a fucking magic man.
Yeah.
Um, I did an episode of an episode of a podcast a couple months ago about pork shoulders, and we had 3 sponsors on the first episode. It was absolutely astonishing.
Like the Purdue pig guys or
No,
bacon or
no.
Oh.
Just well, one was a grocery store.
okay.
Uh, I mean, I'm
They
not.
don't
I'm not
usually
talking
do
out of
podcasts.
school.
Yeah.
Normally, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to talk out of school and like not say their names. It was Food Outlet,
Okay.
which
Wow.
is a 10 above cost style, which you wouldn't think they would need to advertise, because it's a co-op pricing style, right? Where they just do 10 above cost to cover their expenses of people working for them and thrown away like garbage,
Rent and things like
things that rent, stuff like that, expenses, so you wouldn't think that they would advertise, but they advertise with us. And we also had the spice company. What was the spice company that advertised with us, JP? Hardens.
Oh,
Hardens
wow.
Seasoning. Yeah, Hardens Seasonings advertised with us on the Pork Shoulder podcast, which was pretty amazing. And the third sponsor was actually Honda. Yeah, it was Honda Motors.
Yo, you drive that? The Insight, right?
Yeah, I drive an Insight, and my wife drives a Fit, and it was it's a 2016 Fit, and that's actually how we got the Fit. It was that one episode of that one podcast. They just gave it to us.
I'm gonna have to talk to these Flying Dutchman guys, see if they can get us a few more mattresses because that's
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty good.
I mean, Honda is a pretty big get.
Yeah, it is.
So
I can see what they'd throw out.
yeah,
Entry level hatchbacks. I'm not saying that to be rude. I drive an entry level hatchback.
no entry level hatchback it's a car.
Yeah.
So I don't think Honda would be insulted by that.
Oh no, not at all.
A Fit is a wonderful entry level hatchback. It just happens to be an entry level hatchback.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. And speaking of spade a spade, no, that's a bad intro to this movie. This is a movie about.
Oh God damn it!
Yeah, did I get you to break on that one? There we go. I got Jay laughing.
Fuck. Oh. God damn it, Jason.
Oh no, I'm laughing at myself.
Do you ever laugh so hard that the edibles just kick in right away?
Yes.
You're just like sitting there and then all of a sudden, boom.
Boom. Now you're high.
Now I'm high.
Yeah.
And which is a good time to say that we're about to talk about race. For the record, we're not trying to be overly politically correct, but we're both enlightened individuals. We're not going to talk down on this movie. We both watched it. This is my 4th time viewing it. I saw it in theaters. I saw it after it won Best Picture. I assume you've seen it a few times. I see you've got your notes. I've got mine.
So I watched it very, very late Sunday night after we decided that we needed to watch it.
Oh wait, did we actually introduce the movie?
It's called Crash.
Right, and it's directed by
Spike Lee.
No, this is Paul Haggis.
Paul Haggis.
Yeah. So what makes this different than other like good race movies that often win awards is this one was it was actually directed by a white guy,
That's interesting.
So if we want to start talking about I don't really want to get into allyship and white savior complexes if we don't have to.
Could we not?
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause I think we're both trying hard enough to perform without bringing allyship into it.
Yeah, definitely. So this movie is Don Cheadle actually has a production credit on it.
Okay.
So he stars in it, and if you've got Don Cheadle in a movie, it's going to be great. Paul Haggis wrote it and directed it. He wrote the screenplay, and I guess it was originally his idea too. He got a co-writing credit with Bobby Moresco, who was great. He actually he had a co-writing credit on all 3 Die Hard movies.
Wow. Is that not true?
Yeah,
Or is that
it's true.
wait? So, all right. So he got a co-writer credit on all 3 Die Hard movies, and also he wrote this fast-paced action movie about race relations.
Yeah.
In 2004.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that explains just the name, the car crashes.
Yeah.
It ends with a pretty epic car crash. It shows that race does exist even among people who are, or racism rather does exist even among people who are negatively affected by it.
Right. And who wrecked their cars into each other.
Yeah, it was the black lady and the Asian lady at the end.
Right. And the Asian lady's husband owns the grocery store.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Those bylines connect back, right?
Yeah, so like every byline connects. That's one of the cool filmic things about it. It's like I don't know, like Quentin Tarantino or
like it's kind of pulpy.
Yeah, very pulpy.
With timelines change back and forth.
Right, and fiction.
Yeah. Is it fictional? I thought it was based on a true story.
I mean, racism is a true story.
I mean, of course.
But no, I think it was an original story by Paul Haggis.
By Paul Haggis, yeah. And so Paul Haggis. He's speaking of race, and Paul Haggis. He is Scottish. Is that correct?
Scottish,
or he's just named after.
Just named after. I think
the meat product.
He's Canadian.
He's okay.
Probably Scottish Canadian.
Scotch Canadian.
Scotch Canadian.
His forefathers must have killed a lot of beavers.
Yeah.
Pelts. Brain.
You have to like dress
stay
like
warm.
And dress like Macbeth all the time. And
they had the fair. Yeah. Huh. So I don't know where I thought that this film was directed by Spike Lee. That might be some internalized white supremacy in culture.
So. Yeah.
Me seeing the director as wrong.
So I think the reason that we do this is that this movie came out in 2004, but in 1989 there were 2 other movies about race. One was Driving Miss Daisy. One was Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing was a Spike Lee joint, but it lost out to Driving Miss Daisy. And I think we had that conversation.
Right.
And that's how we got onto the Oscars, and we got into Spike Lee and how he got robbed.
That's what it was. Because I thought that Spike Lee directed Driving Miss Daisy. And of course he didn't.
No.
Right? And
he also didn't direct Glory.
He didn't direct Glory either. He did direct Transformers 2.
Yes.
Which explains the dense like social, like the powerful pacing of it.
Right. And he's always been a pretty like lo-fi director. It was really weird for him to work with Michael Bay, who, as you know, is into huge explosions. But the fact that they came together and did a kind of like minimalist, low key kind of
huge explosions movie.
Huge explosions, yeah.
They did a minimalist they did a Dogma 97 huge explosions movie where they're just like, look, just set a bus here and we're gonna blow it up and film it. And it was weird too because Transformers 1 had music and Transformers 2 only had music that was shot on scene by banging on pots and pans next to the camera. I thought that was really odd.
And that wasn't Spike Lee's only that wasn't his only Dogma movie.
No, it was not. He tried to do a Dogma movie by not doing a Dogma movie with Get on the Bus. And Get on the Bus was he was like, hey, fuck Dogma, but also I'm gonna do a Dogma film, right? Kinda, right? No, you can.
All right.
Yeah, you can hold paper in your hand. Nobody's gonna judge you. The fuck, man? This is low in scope, man. This is the first episode. We've set the bar wherever we want to set the bar, and then episode 2, doesn't have Jar Jar in it anymore, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm surprised that's the first time I've made that joke. I just broke the fourth wall, though. I just fucked up and referenced the fact that I've done a bunch of episode ones.
We can fix it in post.
Yeah, we can fix it in post. JP can fix anything in post. So Get on the Bus was not a Dogma film. Dogma had just happened. He's like, blah blah blah. These crazy European white people, they're crazy, and they're trying to do cheap thing and be pretentious about it. He just had he has a production company. He's a genius and has a strong work ethic, and he's ready to go at a moment's notice. And the Million Man March is popping up. He has like no notice on this, and he's like charters a bus and like gets the people on board to do it like instantaneously. Everybody involved in the film shows up.
Are they professional actors?
Yeah, these are all professional actors.
Okay.
Yeah. These are all. It's a movie. Yeah, it's a real movie.
Okay.
With a very quick storyline. Like the storyline is incredibly small. Where it's just a bunch of dudes that get on a bus to go to the Million Man March. They drop what they're doing. They have shit going on in their lives, and there's dramatic interplay between them. And unlike Crash, right? All of the race relations that we're dealing with, or all the idea of race, is only being shown to us through black men dealing with black men, right? So there's no dealing with the relations of race in America. It's only dealing with race in America through not just through the eyes, but through an extremely exclusive character set of just black men dealing with each other, right? And how they're dealing with different struggles differently than each other.
Yeah, and there are only two scenes like that in the whole of Crash. Crash, I think, is 112 minutes. We get about 2 minutes of dialogue between two black men. As you know, in the beginning with Ludacris stealing the car,
Right.
Angry that he's always stereotyped as someone who steals cars, and then he does.
Right.
I say that without editorial.
Right.
And then when we've got Don Cheadle, who's a lawyer buying groceries for his mom and his brother. His brother is in prison, and he's about to prosecute him.
Right. And Ludacris was played by who?
No, that was Ludacris. That was Ludacris himself.
He played. So Ludacris is in the movie and plays himself.
Yes, he's credited as his actual name.
Got it.
But it's Luda.
It's Chris. Yes.
Yeah.
His name is Chris. Chris. Is it Chris Christie?
No, Chris Thompson. I think.
Is it Chris Thompson?
I think it's Chris Thompson.
Right.
Yeah.
So Chris Thompson plays Ludacris, and Chris Thompson is Ludacris.
Right.
So,
I don't know if like the character's name is Ludacris, but it's Ludacris.
You can tell it's Ludacris.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
I could definitely tell it was Ludacris, but I didn't know that Ludacris was playing Ludacris. I thought maybe they hired an actor that looked a lot like Ludacris.
I could tell because it was him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. And maybe, again, internalized white misogyny, white patriarchy,
Yeah.
white supremacy, right? Maybe I'm learning something about myself. I think all black guys named Ludacris look like Ludacris.
Right. And that's really the point of the movie, is to be introspective, isn't it?
I think so. I learned a lot. It was a lot of self-crit, a lot of ban.
Yeah.
A lot of self-crit and ban.
And ban. Yeah. Lots of ban. Some people just got banned right out of the theater. It was crazy.
Like instantaneously.
Yeah. Like they'd lean over and whisper something like, "That's not true." And then an usher would be like, out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't get to see it in theater.
Yeah. This was 2004.
Right. So this is before Left Book.
Yeah.
So there's no content warnings.
No content warnings, no tagging other groups, no. I think this is even before memes. This is before Lolcats. Lolcats was 2006.
Yeah, that's about right.
So this was back when you wanted to say something on the internet, you just pounded out.
Said it.
You said it.
Yeah.
Called a spade, turned on all caps, pounded out a paragraph.
and we all know white men can pound out a paragraph.
Yeah,
They cannot jump.
No, but they can
Pound out a
they can
paragraph.
yeah.
Hard paragraphs.
E. Cummings did it without even without punctuation
Right.
or capitalization. He just,
Yeah. I'm a big believer in no caps at all. I don't capitalize anything on the internet, especially. And I did not. I actually am ashamed to say that I learned of E. Cummings typing that way in my adulthood. Meaning like 2 years ago. I was, like some grammar Nazi goes, hey, ba 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 ba, Charlottesville, and then they were like, saying a thing, and then I was like, this is how I do it, and then another person was like, oh, E. Cummings, and I was like, I don't know who that is, because I was homeschooled, and I don't know, like I know the things I know real well, and the things I don't know, I just don't know them. But Crash was an excellent movie.
it was.
And it made us so like you said, they did a very great job of the introspection aspect. Pre-memes, they understood implicitly that you need as a white person in America to self-crit because the social structure is not such that it could do it for you.
Yeah. I agree, and a lot of subtext. They do that a lot with subtext and mise en scene, perfectly. The way they frame all the shots from the close ups and the pans, especially in the pans, you're really able to see the sweeping nature of racism in Los Angeles.
I agree. So would you say that was done through the speed of the pans or the directionality of the pans, back and forth, to and fro?
It's hard to say. Both. Sometimes one, sometimes the other. It's hard to tell. They didn't use any kind of apparatus to study it. So what you're seeing is you're actually seeing the DP's arm moving, and as you know, he has Parkinson's.
Right.
And so it's not pretty.
So would you say that the DP was a jerky boy? I got you to crack again.
Yes, I would say that.
Oh fuck. I don't know why I ruined we had a thing, and then I was like, I'm gonna ruin it for this stupid joke.
Director of photography.
Yeah.
You fuck.
Oh, I didn't even mean double penetration. I meant like jerky, like the camera was jerking, and that he was probably a boy.
Oh.
Or man.
See, I never actually saw Jerky Boys, so I was just going.
No, Jerky Boys is you never had any of the Jerky Boys tapes?
No.
Oh, okay, so Jerky
Right,
Boys.
So they were the prank callers.
Yeah, they did prank phone calls.
Yeah.
And it was mostly kind of Jewy voices, It was like the Family Guy Jew, right? Like their fake Jew comes from Jerky Boy fake Jew.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, because you're like, where the fuck is that coming from in 2000 something? Like, I haven't heard a Jew that stereotyped like that. Like, I own a pharmacy and everybody's got hemorrhoids, like, or whatever. I can't even do the voice. Like, where the fuck is that coming from? Right? In 30 years of culture, have you seen that? Jerky Boys.
Yeah, that's just Seth's genius.
His genius racism. His genius anti-Semitism.
Now it's ironic.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I mean, it is. I will say that it's one of the funniest characters on that show.
Yeah.
Which is important about Crash also is that some of the most brutal moments are also some of the funniest.
Yeah, definitely. And back to Ludacris, I believe that's why they cast him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jerky Boys, he did a celebrity prank call once.
Yeah. On was he on the Comedy Central show Crank Yankers?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it was Ludacris doing a prank call on Crank Yankers. Do you remember who he called?
don't remember who he called, but it might have been his publicist because he was talking about how he wanted to change his name to Mr. Peanut.
And what did his publicist say?
I don't remember. It was 10 years ago.
God damn it.
Jason is literally in tears.
I'm surprised I don't remember that because I love Ludacris so much and I love Peanuts. You would think that with those, with that kind of synergy, it would just be sharp in my mind. Oh man. So Spike Lee didn't direct Crash.
No. I mean, I don't think so. Did you not watch the movie?
Wait. Did you not watch the movie?
I told you I've seen it 4 times.
I didn't watch the movie.
Neither did I.
You didn't watch the movie?
No, I saw it in the theater maybe 12 years ago and I was stoned, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so I downloaded it Sunday night, right? And I'm like, oh, sweet, this could be great because we got this podcast and I have a thing to do and it'll be great. And then I hit play and then the dogs wanted to go out. So I took the dogs out and it's halfway done. So I just hit pause and then was like, I'll come back later. And it's 2 a.m, so I would go to bed,
Yeah.
Me and the dogs go to bed.
Well, yeah, I was going to watch it on Netflix, and then they took it off, and it was DVD only, and no one signs up for the DVD deliveries.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, so then I go on Amazon, and it's not on Prime, so I have to pay $3.99 to rent it, and my debit card was declined.
What?
Yeah, my debit card was. I had literally no way to watch the movie because I couldn't, go down to Blockbuster and rent it like it's 1995, like
Right.
it's Civilization.
Right.
I have to get it all from the cloud, and
I mean, I stole it.
yeah.
I torrented it on Sunday night. It took 20 minutes to download, and it was done. I have it at my house. We could go watch it.
Yeah, let's do that, and then maybe do a
So-
podcast.
Well, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll just leave this as a placeholder.
Yeah.
And then so episode 2, forget Crash. It's not interesting. Next week we're gonna watch Driving Miss Daisy.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
a good one because that's also an Oscar winner.
Yeah, we'll watch the Oscar winner. Yeah, that matters.
Yeah.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll watch Crash, right? But we'll talk about it briefly
In context.
in context of driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
Also, do you think Driving Miss Daisy is a portmanteau of driving me crazy?
That would be an interesting thing to explore while we watch the movie, but it's definitely one of the first things we want to check out.
Yeah,
once
let's
we
make a
watch it.
note.
Yeah.
I'll make a note to talk about that. So thank you guys. This is gonna conclude episode 1 of Jason and James Watch Movies. I'm not high, and yet everything was very funny tonight.
I am high, and I agree.